So, today I want to talk a little bit about the challenges of labour and birth. I've worked with expectant parents for a long time now, over 20 years, and often the questions are about how to keep this straightforward, how to avoid interventions, how to manage pain, how to get a water birth. All these are really valid questions and really valid aims for labour and birth. But what I've learned over the years, and which is my approach is firmly in this place now, is that yes, that's my job to give you the information so that you can try and achieve the labour that you want. But also my job is to give you realistic expectations. And working as a birth practitioner for many years and as a doula for many years, I know that there's not one right way to do this. And preparing is not about having all the information, but it's just having an awareness of what could impact your choices and your options in labour. Therefore, you've got more options. If you haven't considered it, then if labour is, for instance, way longer than you ever anticipated, but you've only prepared for one way of dealing with your contractions, you're potentially then feeling a bit lost when you're feeling quite vulnerable. So things that can impact labour, and these are normal things, by the way, these are not medical emergencies. This is not, where everything's going wrong. This is just the unpredictability of labour. So the position of your baby has a huge impact, because if your baby's not quite lined up in a positive position to fit kind of into the pelvis, then those early contractions are going to spend its time trying to turn your baby. So that can make labour longer, which can be exhausting. So that can add a different component that you hadn't banked on as part of your preparation. Position of your baby as well can potentially mean a continuous backache. So, and that can be tricky to manage, because you might need to consider different pain management options. It can also lead to induction as well, because if a baby's not lined up, then sometimes labour doesn't start. And especially because a lot of inductions now in England are around about 41 weeks. Babies might need more time to move. So, there's a position of baby has a huge impact. Sometimes in labour, babies need continuous monitoring. There's lots of thoughts around this. You don't necessarily have to have that done, but there are certain things that require it. So, such as if you're being induced with a drip, if you have an epidural, just to keep a closer eye on your baby. So these are things that will be offered to you, and sometimes that leads to a suggestion that you need to be on a bed, but you don't necessarily. So knowing how to manage that can give you more options, basically. It might be that you just feel scared and overwhelmed. I say just. It's a huge thing. Feeling safe is so important in labour, to allow your hormones to be released so that labour can be more efficient and do what it needs to do to give you your baby. So you need to look at kind of, if you are feeling scared and overwhelmed, what's going to shift that? What do you need? And always bringing it back to you is really important. Those contractions could be really intense, more intense than you ever imagined, especially if this isn't your first baby. So thinking about that and having an awareness of that and an awareness of different coping strategies can make a huge difference. And then linked in with that is that some labours are just really fast. And, yes, less likely if it's your first baby, but it can happen. More likely if it's your second. And you just have different options, different things available to you. So having an awareness of those just gives you a bit more of an understanding of how labour works and what you might need and how your needs might change and how the decisions and your options might shift as labour and birth progresses. So good preparation makes all the difference. You can get your hands on a copy of I Have 8 Labour and Birth Challenges guide, which is available on my website. That will take you through everything we've just talked about now. And you can also accompany that with a one-to-one session with me to just talk through all of it, but you might have specific questions depending on your personal situation. So, good preparation is about some decent reading and just talking it through so that you're better equipped with information and options. And let me have your questions as well. That would be great. I hope this has been useful. Please do. I think you can add questions at the end of this. If not, you can email me. I'm just working all of this out, but there will be ways. If you could share, if you could follow, trying to reach as many expectant and new parents as I possibly can, because I'm hoping this will turn into something that's a bit different and that doesn't exist. Short, to the point, useful podcast sessions. And I'm just going to see how it develops. But, feedback also makes a difference. So thank you very much for listening. And as I say, if you could share, if you could give me feedback, that would be great. Thank you.